Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. To the new subscribers, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. To those who haven't joined, if you like my content, please consider subscribing and click the bell notification. That way you know whenever I upload a video. Today I'm going to be talking about my experience with Iboga. Now you might be wondering why I decided to do Iboga after doing Ayahuasca. Well, I had so many issues. Let me just say this. My reason for using plant medicine was to deal with depression, some unresolved issues from way back that needed to be let go, and just trying to figure my life out, like, who am I really? What is my purpose? Where am I going? So that was the biggest reason why I decided to do plant medicine. So I had fibroids. I had fibroids for a very long time, and I'm gonna say a couple of years before 2020, it had become debilitating. It had become debilitating to where I couldn't function. I was in pain every single day. So in January of 2020, I had surgery to remove the fibroids. When I had surgery, I was pretty much like bedridden. I really couldn't move around or do anything during the healing process. So I was out of work for a little over 6 weeks, and I spent most of the day like really on the couch because I was in pain. At the end of that, I was starting to feel better, and I decided to go back to work. The day that I decided to go to work is the day my manager called me to tell me that Toronto was going into lockdown and to not even bother coming to the office. So I wasn't happy about that because I had already spent 6 weeks in my house. I didn't want to be locked up again. I really was looking forward to getting out. So that happened. I was now back at my house working from home and really connecting with people, I guess, on the phone, like everybody. And it wasn't easy. I don't know what happened during that time. Being left alone with my mind in my house, yeah, I cracked, okay? Really, that's the only way I can think of saying it. I couldn't take it anymore. Around about June, I decided that I needed another plant ceremony. However, they weren't having any ceremonies for ayahuasca in Ontario because of the lockdown. I ended up reaching out to my friend who lived in Mexico at the time, and she was also like doing ceremonies for Iboga. So I asked her if I could come or whatever the situation was on her end. She then told me that they were open, and if I wanted to come, if I was able to fly out to Mexico, I could come. And luckily, I was able to find a flight to go to Mexico for the ceremony. My first flight was canceled, and I almost gave up. But the day after, I was able to find another flight, and that's how I found myself in Mexico. Now, let me just say this. There is a huge difference between an ayahuasca trip and an Iboga trip. I cannot even compare the two. They are different. Now, Iboga is a root. It is found in Gabon, which is on the, I'm gonna say, northwest side of Africa. I will insert a map. I'm not good with geography. And they grind up the root, and when you take it, it gives you visions. You can connect with your soul. You can ask your questions. At least that's what it's supposed to do. So on the day of the ceremony, you prepare for the ceremony. It starts around about 10 p.m. It was three of us in this ceremony. The other two had already had previous ceremonies. This was my first time. They gave us a teaspoon of the powder You just chug it in your mouth and you drink a little bit of water and you swallow it. And it does not taste good. It is the same thing with ayahuasca. If I was to compare the two to on taste, both of them just taste bad. There's no one that I can say this one tastes better than that one. Yeah, I wasn't a fan. But you do what you have to do when you need help and you're trying to find breakthroughs in your life. Sometimes, hey, that's just what you gotta do. So after taking the medicine, we sat down for an hour and we're just chit-chatting. At some point, the medicine started kicking in and you feel it. Like when it kicks in, you start feeling it in your body, even like your vision gets distorted. You start like seeing traces on everywhere. At that point, they helped us on the mat. So throughout the night, you're laying on your mat, they're playing music, you got a blindfold on your face, you're not talking to anybody, it's just you and your head, and whatever is in your head, that's between you and you're really dealing with yourself. Now, the way it started for me is that my thoughts started going. And then I started noticing certain patterns and certain habits that I have and how it didn't even make sense. So I was just looking at certain things that I do, like, why do you do this? This doesn't help you. This is holding you back, that sort of thing. So that's how it started for me. At some point during the ceremony, one of the facilitators came to guide me. And what they basically do is that they talk you through the medicine. It's designed to help you navigate your way through the process. So she sat down and I had a list of my questions. You write your questions and she will ask you the questions and you provide an answer. Let me just say this. Some of those questions that I had written down were very, very personal. I wasn't expecting, I didn't know that someone was going to be reading these questions out to me. I thought these were just questions for me to read to myself. So, I mean, when she came and she started asking these questions, I was like, oh, crap. So, if you ever decide to do Iboga, only write the questions that you're okay with someone asking you. Those ones that are private and personal, keep them to yourself. You will get time to ask those questions. I wasn't aware of this. Lessons learned, okay? So the first place that we went and we met my soul. I found her. She was like little Liz. And I was so surprised. My expectation of what my soul looked like, I don't know. It wasn't what I found, okay? I found a little girl. She's just like a younger version of me. She was wearing a pink dress and like it was a pink summer dress and a white t-shirt inside. So I went and I started talking to her and I was asking her questions and she was giving me answers. At some point, one of the biggest questions that I had was related to me having back pain. So I wanted to find out why I had back pain. And the answer she gave me was basically, in my life, as I was going through life, I went through many difficult situations. And I got to a point where I gave up. It was like I was trying to make things happen in my life and nothing was going according to how I wanted it to. So at some point I just got tired and I stopped. It is the way that I stopped because I just stopped abruptly, and that caused all that energy to just come and settle in my back. So that was the reason why I was having back pain, because I wasn't moving forward. I was stuck in this place that I couldn't move myself. So I asked if that could be cleared. She went ahead. It was so interesting because it was like she was like a little, like it was like a little eraser. I would be like, okay, can you clear the pain? And it would be like an eraser just going like this, erasing some stuff. And then I dealt with my self-esteem issues and it would just be like an eraser going and erasing. It was like the most fascinating thing I've ever seen in my life. At some point, I went in my brain and I was talking to my brain, and she took me through this 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 session where I would look at the area in my brain where my confidence is located, and it was very small, and I went and I made it so big. There were so many things that I did that day. It was just amazing. Now, closer to the morning time, the medicine is sort of gone down. At that point, you can move around a little bit and your vision is not as distorted. That was the time when they got us up, took us to our rooms, and then you pretty much finish the session in your room. Now, the visions that I was seeing in Iboga, they are completely different from ayahuasca. I was seeing a lot of trees in Africa. Like if you've ever seen trees in the safari, it, I saw a lot of that. And it was like just before sunrise, like, just before the sun comes up and it's still a little bit dark. That's what I was seeing. A lot of that. And then they were like some pictures, like there were a lot of pictures that were just coming in my head. Like I would see pictures. I realized at some point that everything that I was seeing was my memories. Some of these pictures were like memories from my childhood. I remember seeing the house that we lived at one time when I think I was like 4 or 5 years old. And I was looking at that, I was like, I remember that house. That looks very familiar. So what I found out later is that Iboga does go into your brain. It defragments your brain and your nervous system just to clean you out. So what it does is that it will release all those thoughts that you're still keeping in you that no longer serve you. It will basically flush that out of your system. And at some point, like, it is such a strange medicine. Like, I knew it was doing its work, but it can be very uncomfortable at times, because like I would feel like pins and needles coming from my left side all the way to my right side, and then they'll go to my right, to the left, and then top to bottom and bottom to top. And at times it was just uncomfortable. That I was not a fan of. The other thing that I wasn't really too impressed with is that after I done, by the time the morning came, I had asked all my questions. At some point I just started having fun with it. I was just like, well, I might as well just ask questions and just find out, like, how did the world begin? Why was I born the way I am? Why is this way? It really, like, I was doing things like that and just asking my soul, and I was getting answers, and I was visiting different places. The biggest gift that Iboga gave me is that I was able to speak to my dad. So one of the things that Iboga does is that it helps you to connect to people that you love, even those who've passed away. My dad passed away in 2007. I never got a chance to say goodbye. I really didn't go home for his funeral for many reasons that I'm not going to get into on this video. But on that day, I was able to talk to him. And I really just for me, I don't think this even was about him. I just wanted to tell him that I'm sorry I couldn't make it to his funeral. And he was okay with that. And I also asked him, there were other things that I needed to just clear between the two of us. We were able to discuss all of those things. And to my surprise, he really didn't care. Like, everything that I was concerned about, where I felt like maybe I could have done better, or I was wrong, or maybe I should do differently, he didn't care. He didn't. He just wanted me to know. He just wanted me to know that he's okay and he's watching over me and he loves me. And then his parting gift to me, like his parting message, was like, don't underestimate yourself. I asked him, I was like, if you were to tell me something, what do you want me to know? And that's what he said. He's like, don't underestimate yourself. I remember there, like, in that moment, I'm like, oh, it's like a fortune cookie, you know? I mean, it would be nice if you told me that I was going to win the lotto or something. Like, yeah, I could. That's what I was looking for. But really, that was his message to me. Afterwards, I gotta say, that message was so what I needed, because time and time again, since I've had the ceremony, there've been things that have come my way, or I'm trying to do something and I want to second guess myself and I want to doubt myself. And then I always remember his words, like they always come, like, don't underestimate yourself. So that has been a gift that I got from Iboga. The other trippy thing was the visuals. They were not cute and fun like ayahuasca visuals. They're fun. I enjoy that. With Iboga, it was different. At some point, like the pictures were just clicking like a flash. Like, remember back in the day how they used to take pictures? That's how it was. It was like I would see pictures and they were all like memories from my, I don't know, things that I've encountered in my life. And then at some point, I started seeing faces. I did not know these faces. And these faces were scaring me a little bit, okay? Because what would happen is that I would see a face, so like it would settle from further away, and I'll see like a face is coming, and it'll keep coming, and it's like boom. And my face, oh my God, it took a little bit to get used to that. And the crazy thing is that these faces, they were not outside. Like, it's not like I could say open my eyes, they're outside. They were in my head. I was seeing it in my head. So that was uncomfortable, but with as time went on, I got used to it, like I do. And I dealt with it. It didn't bother me anymore, but it was just, it's it's unnerving. So I spent the whole day in my room just asking questions. At some point, I had no questions. I was ready for this show to be done. Okay, I really was. But an Iboga trip lasts up to 18 hours, even longer. So even though I was done, the medicine was still doing its work because it takes that long to work. Now, what really drove me crazy is that I wanted to sleep. When that medicine is still in you, you don't sleep. Every time you close your eyes, the visions start coming. So I was caught between trying to decide, like, do I close my eyes or do I keep my eyes open? But it would be nice if I could take a nap, and it just wasn't happening. So that was the toughest thing about Iboga. And I gotta say, I have done just 3 trips with Iboga, and I think that's more than enough. I don't foresee myself ever needing to do it again because I feel like it did the job that it needed to do. The following day after the Iboga trip, so at the end of the day, they will give you a banana, and it's supposed to just shut the medicine down so that you can actually sleep for the night. When I woke up the next day, I felt amazing. I felt like $1,000,000. Okay. I felt so good. What stood out the most is my brain was quiet, y'all. My brain is not quiet. It is very loud in there. There are things that are happening in there. And to wake up and just hear complete silence in my head, to not be creating a story, to not be planning anything, that was amazing. And it was such a peaceful feeling to just know that, wow, I can just sit here and just be, and my brain doesn't have to be going. That was fascinating. That was a gift on its own. So I went ahead. 2 days later, we did the second ceremony, and then after that, that was a wrap up. The Iboga ceremony pretty much just takes the whole week. Like, if you're gonna do it, it's gonna be a whole week. You do two ceremonies, and that takes 7 days, really. So make sure you have that time available. Now, comparing the two, when I look at Iboga versus ayahuasca, let me say this. Ayahuasca helped me remember who I was. It helped me let go of a lot of things. It healed me in so many ways. What Iboga taught me was I got to meet myself. I got to meet the divine part of me, my soul, and have a conversation and have a discussion about this so-called life that I'm living and ask those questions that have always pressed on my heart. And after having this heart-to-heart talk with my soul, what I realized out of that was I can never get it wrong. This life, oh no, no. You can never get it wrong. Everything that's happening in your life is by design. Whether you want to believe it or not, well, let me just say for me, what I know and understand is that everything that's happening in my life is by design. There are no mistakes. There are nothing is wrong. Everything happened as it should have. Even the most painful events that have happened, those were the most beautiful because they gave me so much. I am who I am right now because of the toughest thing that I've endured. And just by me connecting with my soul and knowing that I designed this, I can never, I am so grateful. Words cannot even begin to explain how thankful I'm grateful I am to have this life. When I look at my mom and my dad, I couldn't have done a better job of choosing parents. They are amazing people. Like my mom, she's such an amazing person. I haven't come across people who are so easy about life like she is. She teaches me so much. And when I think of my dad, he gave me the confidence just to navigate through life. Even up to today, like when I want to do things that I can't do, I always just see him saying like, yeah, you can do it. I have faith in you. And Iboga just gave me the confidence to embrace that and to embrace life and just to know that, you know what? I am where I'm supposed to be right now and it's all good. I might not know what tomorrow is going to bring. I might not know what's going to happen, but I know that I'm in good hands. I know that I'm always safe. I know that I'm loved. And yeah, so that was my experience with Iboga. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about my experience with magic mushrooms. I know you're probably laughing at me like, just how many things have you done? Plenty. But for this, I'm just talking about just those 3 plant medicines and what they've done for me and my experiences. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends. If you found this information useful, please leave a comment below. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. Once again, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next Monday. Goodbye.